Hello and welcome to Ignorance is Myth. And we're back here today with myself, Cal, and the witch Blair.
Hi, hi. I think we're really missing a tagline. Ignorance is myth, where something, something, something.
Oh, okay. Okay, you're gonna have to leave me with that one.
Where mythology meets mental health.
Yeah, oh, that's very what is it, like corporate? This sounded very like
I just love alliteration.
Yes, I love alliteration. Give me all the letters. Um Today we're gonna take a little look at the Morrigan.
She's a queen. I adore her.
Personal favorite of yours, right?
Yeah, she's on my shrine.
She's on your shrine.
Yeah,
Oh, what an angel. Love her.
not quite.
I'm sure we're gonna get into that.
No angels in Celtic myth until it
Mm,
got Christianized.
yeah, very true, very true. Okie dokes. Should we get in?
Let's.
Fabulous. Okay, so there was once a warrior so fierce that kings feared his anger, and armies trembled at his name. His name was Cuchulainn. Did I do that well? God, I'm so good at this.
Well, for some, not for others. Like I said, there's so many variations of pronunciation in Irish Gaelic. So,
Yeah, yeah, granted.
and also, Cuculain's story by his own right is so interesting. So we should definitely do an episode on him at some point.
Oh, yeah, I would love that. Also, if anybody has any recommendations, just pop them in the
Yeah,
comments.
let us know. And I'm only bringing this up now so that I don't end up telling his entire life story while we're focusing on this one event.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. Anyway, so he was the Hound of Ulster. The Hound of Ulster, the chosen of destiny, the child of prophecy. Oh,
It was a prophecy that he would lead a remarkable but short life. Very 27 Club vibes.
oh, I love that. So, like him, Amy Winehouse, Kurt Cobain,
Yeah, all
Rick,
chilling together. They'll all be chilling in Turn On Nog, like just
smoking
having
fat
a grand
cigars,
old time.
and having a great time. I love that. Okay, cool. He's in to see up there. I love it.
Yeah.
But
So
like
he was very much a child of prophecy.
prophecy. Now, question: is a child of prophecy anything like a nepo baby?
I guess it depends how good the prophecy is.
Uh,
Mostly a myth. If there's a prophecy about you from like shortly after you're born, it's never a good thing.
that's very true.
It's
That's
never like you're going to have a long and happy life and nothing horrible will ever happen to you. It
mm,
normally means you'll have a great effect on the world around you, but you never get to live very long or go without suffering.
God. It's not very nice, is it?
Not
Maybe if we just stopped giving prophecies. The fates just took a day off. You know. Like, I don't think it's happening.
maybe, maybe it's not very demure. It's not very cutesy.
No, it's not at all.
It's very horrifying and hanging on by the skin of your teeth.
Yeah, quite literally. But like fate, like war, they both have a goddess.
Good
No,
recovery.
thank you.
But fate, like war, has a goddess.
Thank you. I can't even read
In
English.
this case, it's the same lady.
Good Lord. Okay. Yeah, so fate, like war, has a goddess. And one day he met her on the road. She was just a woman at first, a stranger with long black hair and eyes that gleamed like storms. She asked for his protection. He, thinking little of it, dismissed her. He had no time for beggars or riddles. So,
Always a bad move in a myth. Always, if some rando approaches you and is like, I need your protection, or good sir, could you help me with this bundle of sticks? Say yes. It's always someone who could kill you in an instant.
absolutely. I like there was did you ever go to Alton Towers like 20 years ago?
I went to Alton Towers about 17 years ago.
Okay, so that's probably about right. So, like, anyone who doesn't know what Alton Towers is, if you're outside of the UK, this is a theme park in the UK. And there was a ride. Do you remember Hex?
Yes.
You remember Hex? Oh my goodness. And it was cool because you went through like a story, didn't you? And I still remember it to this day, how creepy it was. And there was a beggar lady who asked the Earl for some help, and he shunned her away, and she cursed him, and then the ride went crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, again, I've mentioned this before. It's like, but on a more humanitarian basis, it's like, oh, why are you giving money to these people begging on the street? They're going to spend it on drugs. It's like, well, or they're going to spend it to get help, and I'd rather risk the drugs to make sure that if they are trying to get help, I help them. But also, it could be a god.
if nothing else, it
Yeah.
could be a god.
If I have any change in my wallet and I know I'm going into town, I put it all in my pocket and I give a little bit to everyone I see who's asking for it. One, because it's the right thing to do, and two, because the last thing I need right now in my life is an upset deity on my back.
Yeah, I've not got time for that, honestly. That's the kind
Doing
of
it
thing.
because it's the right thing, and also because I really cannot be doing with it raining fire and blood in my kitchen.
Yeah, no time for that. I had a car ghost once, worst 8 months of my life, and
Yeah.
I had to get rid of the car. Yeah, so we don't want
Oh,
we
so
don't want that.
there was a ghost in the car, not there was a ghost of a car following you. It wasn't
No,
like
no, no, no,
Christine.
no. No, there was a ghost in my car. It did crazy things. It opened like at one point the like central reservation next to the driver's seat. It opened like a drawer, and in this drawer, I came out of work and I opened the car and I was like, "Oh my god, there's a drawer there and there's a torch in it. How weird!" And I closed it, and I was speaking to my grandfather who had the same car, and I was like, "Yeah, like the tray in the middle." He was like, "There's no tray in the middle." And we went out to my car, and we tried to open this panel that I was like, "That's a tray," and he was like, "It doesn't open." And it opened on its own. I'm telling you, crazy. All my engine went wrong, electrics went wrong. It
Yeah,
was
no, that's haunted. Get rid of that. Ain't
she
nobody
was
got time for that.
she was far too young for that to have been happening to her. Oh god, that car. Never mind. I yes, traded it in, got a newer model, and anyway, this is not a story about my car, believe it or not.
But we love the tangents.
We love a tangent. We love a tangent. Moral of the story is give to beggars and get rid of your cars if they appear haunted.
Yes.
Oh, I've got this lovely tea. Let's digest. It's a Twinings one. It's good. So she was. Did I do this one already? She was
Yeah.
just a woman at first.
You
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Okay, but she was not just a woman.
There we go.
There we go. She was not just a woman. She was the Morrigan, goddess of battle and fate. Which, by the way, what a fucking
What
cool.
a fit combo.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing you can't take on if that's your combo.
And sometimes she's represented as a triple goddess, and I can never remember all three of the names.
I'll have to find out.
But she was also seen as a goddess of storms as well.
Well, it's funny you should say that because it says here she was the storm.
Oh,
And the crow and the river of blood on the battlefield. She offered him her love and he refused.
we don't get enough rivers of blood anymore.
We really don't, do we? Like, they don't run. Do you know what? Actually, there is a fountain in Swansea that they dye red on St. David's Day.
Oh, that's camp.
Yeah, that's about the closest we've got at the moment.
And also, by rivers of blood, I'm not talking like Enoch Powell bullshit. It's just like, it's just like, the threat of nuclear annihilation
Yeah,
isn't as like dramatic and mythological as rivers of blood flowing through the street.
that's
In
it.
Celtic myth, there's I can't remember the exact concept. There's like this war going on, and one of the kings sends three women. This is it, three women go and they stand on a cliff overlooking this other kingdom. And first, they make it so the fires in the smithy stop working with spells. And then they make it so that they won't be able to make weapons for more. And then they make it that like their bread won't rise. It's all like, okay, yeah. So day one, no fires in the forges. Day two, oh, the bread won't rise. And then on the third day, they make it rain fire and blood. And it's all just said so matter of factly. There's these three of them camped up on the hill. It's like they're going, all right, so we've done what have we done? We've done fires on the fires out in the forges, we've done bread not rise. What should we do now? Tina's there like, rain, fire and blood. We've not done that one for a while. Fire and blood. This is why I like you, Tina. You're an out of the box thing. Also, I just picked the most English white woman named Tina for like this obviously powerful ancient Irish witch, and I will do my penance for that. I will apologise to my Irish family. But it's just, the thing I love about Celtic Myth more than anything is the remarkable is just described as matter of factly as the unremarkable. It's just like, oh yeah, and they because it's it's like because it's written so like the king called for his weaponsmiths to make weapons, and he called for his strategists to make battle plans, and he sent 3 women to the enemy kingdom who made it rain fire and blood, and then and it's just
it's just so matter of fact. I love it.
Yeah, and I just think there's something so beautiful and also just something so camp about it.
Oh yeah,
it's very much missing, just sliding in like powerful sorcery is just, and that was just one thing on an otherwise very normal to-do list in times of war.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine if it's like, here's the news at 10, we have declared war on this country, and so the Ministry of Defence has started a huge recruitment drive to bolster the military. They have started construction work on a new steelworks in Sheffield so that we'll be able to build the military things. And Cal and Blair have been sent to the opposing country to make it rain fire and blood. And also we are doing a scrap metal drive.
It is. It's so bonkers. I love that, and it's just thrown in like it's like as though we put their fires out, we stole their yeast, and and then
it rained fire and blood because you know what, these things have to happen in threes, and we were pushed for normal ideas.
Exactly.
The Brilliant. Best curse in Irish myth, I'll let you get back to it, is a goddess who was humiliated by a king. I believe it was the king of Ulster, cursed all. It ties into the story of Cuchulainn because he has to fight a whole army because she cursed all the men of Ulster on the day they were needed to fight to be cursed with labour pains.
Oh,
and like yes, teach the men what that's like, because when she was heavily pregnant, she was made to chase a bull by the king, and she was like, "Oh, you think pregnancy's funny? Hold my beer." But so Cuchulainn has to the battle that's mentioned in this myth, that he's fighting alone, doing single combat against every soldier because he wasn't old enough by that point to technically be a man, so he dodges the curse.
All right.
But then like because of the weird honor rules, because there's no army, there's one guy, every soldier in the army has to fight him one at a time.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I'll leave that for his episode. Sorry, I will let you finish the story.
No, it's good. It's always good to get your input.
Yeah, she offered him her love and refused, and much like with the Greek gods, it's always a bad idea.
So jealous.
If the goddess of fate says, "Hey, can I love you?" say yes.
Say yeah, because also they're the goddess of fate, so they'll just make it happen.
Yeah,
like just go.
Well, no, that's the thing. Again, in Celtic myths, it's fate. In some cases, is like for Cuchulainn, it is foretold he will die at a young age, but live a great life in the updoing. But there's always this element of choice as well, because if he had forsaken living this life of a great warrior, he would have lived.
Yeah.
If he had taken the love of the Morrigan, he would have lived. But it's a case of, I feel like when there are these gods and beings that can see your fate, they see where each decision will take you, but you're not forced to do it, because she comes and offers him this choice. If she hadn't said anything to him, he'd have just died anyway. She gave him an out, and this happens a lot with Greek myth prophecies as well. In trying to escape your fate, that's how you always end up meeting it, like with Oedipus.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my god. And with what was the guy who killed the Minotaur?
Theseus,
right? And all of these, they're their fate, their prophecy, or whatever that's coming to them, comes to them by avoiding
trying to
it.
avoid it, and they're self-fulfilling. And it's one of the morals was meant to be at the time, when very much fate and prophecy, unfortunately, was more widely believed, is
Hmm.
if you get your fate told to you, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It becomes impossible to avoid. The
Hmm.
only chance of avoiding it is to actually not know.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. That I
And
suppose
it's
that's
like
the only way you
the
remain.
thing that makes the thing that makes the prophecy happen is it being said. Because what, like Oedipus, his parents are told he will kill his father and marry his mother. That
Mm.
never would have happened if they just raised him as their kid. But in sending him away and him not knowing who they are, that happens.
Yeah, literally. And that's it. That's exactly it, isn't it? That there are we overthink. We are creatures of worry and
Yeah.
anxiety. And when we feel uncertain about the future, like how many people, like you are yourself, are a tarot reader and like work within the spiritual realm, and how many times have you had people asking you for what the future holds?
Oh,
That's
constantly.
that's not beneficial information.
No, whenever I do read these people, I'll always give them sort of an insight into the path that they're on and
Hmm.
where it's most likely to lead.
Yeah,
Um, but I always have to make it very clear that, their choices can change this.
yeah,
And
abs-
sometimes you have to decide whether it's worth saying something or not. Again, will this cause more harm than good? Because the thing that happens with these prophecies is people get so obsessed with trying to change the things in life they cannot control,
mhm.
rather than changing the things they can. And
So,
people get so bogged down in this terrible thing is going to happen that they get to like the end of the prophecy, which is in these cases always death, and they've
mm,
not done anything with their life. One thing about Kukulin is he basically ignores the prophecy.
yeah,
He always acts as if he's going to live forever, and at least, even though his life is short, he does have a grand one.
yeah, which
And
is prophecy.
yeah, like if a doctor rang me tomorrow, because I had to have a chest X-ray the other week, but it's obviously nothing urgent, or they'd have told me by now. Like, I've got to ring for my results tomorrow, so it's clearly, if they
That's
haven't rung me, it's probably fine. But if I got a phone call 2 days after that chest X-ray saying, "Oh, you've got terminal lung cancer, you've got like 3 months to live,"
Mhm.
what would be the point of wasting my time worrying about that rather than enjoying the time I have left?
That's it, isn't it?
And
And that,
that's easy to say when you don't have a terminal diagnosis, by the way. That's how I would hope to react. But
yeah,
I can't, I would never dream of trying to put myself in the shoes of anyone who has got that
yeah,
diagnosis. But
abs-
when my grandfather was given, my grandfather ended up getting cancer in 3 of his major internal organs, and they said to him, if we keep you in hospital and keep giving these blood transfusions, we can give you 2, maybe 3 months. If you
mhm,
go home, you've got about a week. And he basically said, what's the point of pouring all this blood into me to buy me some extra time when, a young person who's had an accident or something could,
mhm.
like, that could give them an entire rest of their life. And also, what's the point of living longer if I'm just going to be sat in hospital when I could be at home with my family? And
Yeah,
so they said, well, if you go home, you've got a week. And he said, it's my birthday in 2 weeks. We'll see about that. And literally the day after his birthday, my mum was down there caring for him. She put him into bed, and he just said, I've got my family around me, and I've got no regrets with how I've lived my life. I'm the luckiest man in the world. He went to sleep and just didn't wake up the next day.
wow,
And I always think how much more painful and horrible his last days on earth would have been if he'd spent them in hospital, only able to see his family in visiting hours,
yeah. Oh my
in a
God.
in a place where he didn't know anyone, wasn't comfortable. And there's a weird fascination in this world of quantity of life over quality, and it's something I always hold very dear to me. And I think I've mentioned that on episodes of this before, and I think it very much ties into this prophecy thing.
Yeah,
Like, if someone is going to be correct tells you you've got this amount of time left to live, spend it living. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
absolutely.
Because there are two things you can't avoid in this world. That's death and taxes. So Well, the rich can avoid taxes, but they'll die one day, and that brings me solace. Um, it's very much because like this is one of my favorite myths, and I think one of the things, just the whole life of Cuchulainn is some of my favorite stories. Because like this person's been told since they were a child, you are going to live an incredible life, but it's going to be very, very short. And
Mm,
they go, grand, I'm going to make sure I make the most of it.
yeah.
And they make mistakes, they carry on. They do become incredibly arrogant, but they're a protagonist in a story, so I think that's kind of a given.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like I think it is a good way to go about your life because like
Mm,
he had a guarantee of a short life, but any of us could be hit by a bus tomorrow or just have an aneurysm and drop dead. It's like
it's
tomorrow's not promised, so live while you can.
I completely agree.
Anyway, sorry, I've never let
No,
you get to a story.
oh no, this is what we're here for, to have these conversations.
Yeah,
I think they've been
sorry.
great. No,
She
they're
offered
very
him her
helpful.
love and he refused.
Oh God, maybe that. Yes. So I have no need for your kind, he said. And so she tested him. The next day, Cuchulainn rode into battle. He was attacked first by a heifer, charging from nowhere. He struck it down.
If
Then a
I had a
wolf.
nickel for every time that happened to me.
Every time I was charged by a heifer, he struck it down. Then a wolf, fierce and howling, snapped at his heels. He wounded it. And then this is great. Then an eel twisted around his legs in a stream, trying to trip him. I just love how this eel came out of nowhere. And
Well,
again,
that's it way more sushi. But it's like it feels like it was building, then dropped back down. So it's like, a heifer. So people think, oh, what a cow. I'm like, cows are big. If that thing
yeah,
charged you and hit you, you're gonna break a couple of ribs. And then it's a wolf. I'm like, those things will kill you. And then an eel tried to trip him over in a stream.
like as though kids holding a piece of string,
Yeah.
like it's
It,
just
and like, the Morrigan is a goddess I pray to, and no shade to her at all. But it feels like one good idea, a better idea. Oh, stories always want threes, but I only really had two planned. Eagle.
yeah. Absolutely.
But if you can't laugh at your own beliefs, then you're
Yeah,
gonna have a miserable time and make other people miserable. So
absolutely. And also laughing was our little hero of the story, because each time he laughed and said, "Is this all?" Each time,
again, you've rejected the love of a goddess. She's then started throwing shit at you, and you go, "Is that all you got?"
honestly, and God, this is not the goddess you want to be upsetting.
But then
Fate,
again, you're gonna die young, so why not just be a dick?
yeah, that's valid, because he could be literally like, "Well, this might be how I'm going to die anyway."
But
So might as
it's
well be
very
upset.
the telling of his story very much gives me the ideas of it's like, well, I know I'm gonna die young.
Mm,
Something's going to kill me. It could be this. And he very much goes, either this will be the thing that ends me or it won't, but I will face it head on.
yeah.
And I do think
Oh,
that is quite a positive way to think about things. Again, we're wired with a survival instinct. Everyone does everything they can to survive,
I've got a
but it
question.
does make us risk averse.
I've got a question. So, as we discussed earlier, like knowing your prophecy makes you more likely to self-fulfill it. But if we all have a prophecy that we will die, much like
Yeah,
him, we don't know when, like he does, like he has a
yeah.
better idea of when, but we all have the prophecy that we will die. So maybe, do you
We
think that
need
if
to embrace it rather than try and resist it.
exactly, and if we just kind of had it, if we thought of it as something written in the stars, would we then live our lives more to the full instead of banking on time that we may not have?
Yeah, like I am not afraid of dying. I'm afraid of the way I will die because I definitely would fear a painful death or a
Hmm.
long drawn out slow one. But I'm not afraid of dying.
No, no.
And, some people might think I'm deluded because I do believe that there is something beyond this life. But also, if even if when we die there is literally nothing, well, what's there to be afraid of? I won't be there to suffer it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I truly think the only people who suffer when someone dies are the ones who are left behind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, unless there is a hell, then there are people suffering down there, but who knows?
Yeah.
I do think, yeah, again, death is a certainty, but I told you about that documentary I watched about that guy who's trying to reverse the aging process on himself, and
Oh,
it's
God,
like,
yeah.
and I just watching his life, I'm like, there is no joy here.
Uh-uh. Uh-uh.
Like when my grandfather got told again, he got told to stop smoking by his doctor, and he said, I'd rather die at 60 having had a great life than live to 90 only eating lettuce and drinking water.
I mean, valid, yeah.
And in the end, he smoked until the day he died in his late 70s, and he got 3 forms of cancer, and none of them were related to smoking. None of it touched his lungs, because you never know what's going to happen.
That's it. You
And so
really,
he lived his life in a way that made him very happy, and he genuinely felt he had no regrets when he died, and that's something I still admire about him, and something I try and hold on to in my life, because
Mhm.
if you cannot escape something, like death, just accept that it's going to happen and make the moments the only moment that is promised is the one you're currently in. So try
Yeah,
and enjoy it as much as you can. I think that is the real point behind things like mindfulness. It's like I fail so much, but I try so hard not to worry about tomorrow, because I could fucking die in my sleep.
literally.
I'll
Yeah.
cross that bridge when I come to it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
There
yeah.
are some things, having a bit of a plan, a bit of preparation of like, well, you know what? Chances are I'll wake up tomorrow, so I should make sure there's food in for dinner.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But don't worry too much about it. Have an idea of what to do about something, and
Hmm.
then let it go.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
Abs-
just went full Elster. I didn't mean to.
Let it go. Brilliant. No, that's it.
We
I
will,
get
we will never get to a story.
no.
But it's good to talk about these things when they come up.
Absolutely. That's why we're here. So each time the Morrigan's voice whispered behind him, I am the cow. I am the wolf. I am the eel. I think this is where the Beatles got the I am the walrus from.
Yeah, but
Um,
also, just a bit of advice for anyone listening. People don't like this if you whisper it to them in bed out of nowhere. I
oh my
learned that the
God.
hard way.
Oh, I'm doing this next time I'm in bed with my partner. I'm going to just from behind. I am the cow.
Your partner reaches out to me on social media. Apparently, I have you to blame for this.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It'll be all your fault. I will blame you. So he had struck her unknowingly 3 times.
Yeah, striking 3 times, very common in Celtic myth. There's a Welsh myth about that.
3 strikes and you're out, right?
Yeah, well, there's that's where it comes from. There's a Welsh myth about that, about a man who sees a beautiful woman of the of the Fae, and asks to marry her, and she like brings this down with amazing counsel. She's like, yeah, I'll marry you, but if you strike me 3 times, our marriage is over. There's a version of it in Irish myth as well,
I
but it's
think
the
I,
idea. But then like once they're like meant to be traveling somewhere, and she says it's too far to walk, and he just goes, oh well, then why don't you saddle the horse? Just a tap on the arm, but that counts as one. Like, and then the
mm,
second time he like elbows her in the ribs when she's behaving strangely and not in a mortal way, and that counts
mm,
as two. And it's like, yeah, gotta be careful.
yeah. You don't know just how powerful that nudge is to them, do you? That's the thing.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It didn't matter how powerful it was. She said, if you strike me 3 times, it's all about the wording.
That's it. That's it. Signing contracts like that. Later, she came to him again, not as a beast, but as a bent old woman, milking a cow. She offered him a drink. Suspicious, but bound by the code of hospitality, he drank.
That's been cleaned up slightly.
Please divulge.
That Cuchulainn had a geas on him, which is like a magical um, binding where you can't do a certain thing.
Okay.
And his geas was he could not eat dog meat.
Oh,
And
okay.
it came as a result of slaying the Hound of Cullen and then becoming his hound, which Cú Cullen just means the Hound of Cullen. That's where his name comes from.
Yeah.
Um, and the way the Morrigan gets him is she appears as this old woman, because another oath is he cannot refuse hospitality. She offers him dog meat, which he cannot eat, or basically sort of like a blessing that protects him goes.
Right.
But he also can't refuse hospitality, or again, that's like another, that's a curse on you as well.
Yeah.
So there's literally no way out. So he eats the dog meat.
Oh my gosh, right. So he eats dog meat.
Got between a rock and a hard place, or dog meat and refusing hospitality. Again,
Oh,
hospitality, again, a lot of Celtic, it's such a big thing.
oh, it's
Like
respect.
to be declared a bad guest,
Yeah. I think
better
that
to be shot in the head.
yeah, it carries through to certainly like Greek and Roman, but it also carries through to Japanese as well. Like
Yeah.
all of that is big. It's big on it. The hospitality stuff.
And it still runs very strongly in Celtic countries. Like if someone comes round, you offer them tea, you offer to cook them a meal.
Yes. Oh, goodness. And
And
when
it's
they
like,
say
can I
no,
get you anything?
yeah, you just cook it from anyway, even if they say no.
Yeah. I remember once going to my grand's, she was Irish. We were going down to London to see my husband's brother and his wife. And my grandmother is from Ireland, but she lived in Kent. And so, because my brother was in South London, rather than driving through London because it's a horror show, we'd always cut round the M25, nip to my grandma's, wait for the evening rush to die down, and then we go back down through the bottom into London. And it was a bit longer mile wise, but it took far less time. And I rang her to let her know we'd be going down, so we'd stop off on the way and see. And she said, "Oh, do you need to do any food?" I'm like, "No, when we get to like my brother-in-law's, we're going to be having a takeaway. Because it's a long drive down from Leeds, we'll be like stopping for lunch on the way down, I imagine. So please don't go for any trouble." And she was like, "Well, I'll have stuff in for sandwiches if you change your mind." Okay. When we arrive, she's peeling potatoes to make chips. There is a full joint of ham in the oven. There are eggs ready to be fried. And so she's making it, so we have to eat it because again, like you can't refuse hospitality.
No, of course, of course.
It's just like, yeah. And again, like you've been in my house, and I'm constantly like, "Do you need another drink? Do you want anything to eat?"
Always very good
and
host.
and I think it is just a thing of like you can never to be declared a bad host or a bad guest is such a bad. It weirdly it's in Turkish culture as well. I think it's just something that's been bred into me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, absolutely.
As well as always making more food than I need to in case someone's hungry for seconds.
Absolutely, you never know, and you can't have a hungry guest because that's
No,
yeah.
if someone leaves your house still hungry, you will be ill spoken of in the village.
Yes.
Can't remember which comedian says that. I think it might be Dylan
Moran. So, and she said
Yeah, he
after
drank.
that, after he drank, she said to him, "You have wounded me, warrior, 3 times, and each time you showed no respect. Still, Cuchulainn refused to bend. Proud and defiant, she smiled, a smile like broken swords. When we next meet, it will be at your death."
I do have to wonder if he'd have shown respect if it had been a male god.
Oh, yeah.
Because again, this is a time when women are not treated with, they still don't get as much respect as they should have now, but they're treated with even less.
That's it. And do you know what? It seems like the lesson that we should be treating women with respect has come on literally since these times, like they've been saying it for a long time and still nobody's listening.
But again, there's like the Christianization of myth affects this a lot. Like so many stories where about like queens and empresses didn't survive.
Yeah.
And goddesses being made, because like the way the story is told, it's the Morrigan being petty, and it's like, nope, he's being a dick.
Absolutely, he was rude.
He's not showing respect to the goddess of fate and war, and he is a warrior.
Yeah, I mean, like that is a complete disregard.
Like don't shit where you eat, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So as she vanished, her shadow in the shape of a crow rose up into the sky.
That's how I like to leave every function.
Absolutely, with style and panache. Panache?
Yeah.
Panache. No, ganache is the chocolate.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, cool. Got that right. Years later.
Diabetic, I'll take both.
Years later, Cuchulainn met his end in battle, surrounded, bleeding alone. He tied himself to a standing stone so that he would not die lying down. Even in death, his enemies dared not approach him. So great was his presence. But one came, a single black crow landed on his shoulder, and they knew he was dead. The Morrigan had kept her promise.
Like in the version of the story I've got him on my books, like he's found himself at the standing stone. People who've approached, he's like fought off while he still grieves them with it, and then he's like still for a while, and then one guy walks up to see if he's dead, and like kills him and then dies. So they leave it until the raven turns up at that point, or the crow turns up at that point. They're like, we're literally going to wait for an omen for the goddess of death to see if it's safe to go near this guy.
That's so funny. Like, yeah, I moral of the story is don't shit where you eat.
Yeah, don't fuck with the gods. It's also another good one.
I think, yeah, picking your battles is something I would probably say on a serious note from this.
Pride comes before a fall.
Pride does come before a fall. And also, I think, don't obsess with the future.
Yeah. That's the one thing he does positively. Everything else is like, okay, dude, rein it in. There's balance to be found here, I think.
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't think we need to go as far as he did.
No.
But I think there was an element of freedom to him.
He accepted his fate. And I think when you do that, you do feel an element of freedom. As one of my favorite, I think it's a Buddhist one. It's like, change what you can, accept what you can't change, and leave behind what you can't accept.
Yes, nice.
And like, obviously, sometimes it's hard to get out of situations.
Completely.
But that's why I think we have to work harder to accept that sometimes things aren't great.
Yeah. And I think one of the core foundations in like CBT therapy is radical acceptance, being able to accept and move on.
It's like I deal with it with like sort of like my work life. It's like I'd love to have a job that I truly loved and enjoyed, but how many people out there actually get that? And I think I found a bit more peace in just accepting going to that I'm not going to find like a dream job that is going to give me all the money I need to survive. But that makes me put less pressure on the jobs I do get, because I just turn up and I do what I need to do to earn the money, and I don't get as invested.
Absolutely.
And then that leaves me with the energy to spend in my spare time on doing the things that I do love. And it's sad that I can't combine those, but not everyone gets to do that. And it's unfair to tell everyone they're going to get that, because we're from the generation of, well, if you go to university, you're going to end up getting your dream job. It's like, but then everyone went.
Yeah, right, exactly. And then
if we all go and get our dream jobs, who's going to empty the bins? Who's going to clean the office buildings? And this isn't me saying these are bad jobs, by the way. But what I'm saying is we were all geared up to say that our job had to be something that we dreamed of doing. And I could be wrong, and no shade to whoever does, but I don't think anyone has grown up thinking my dream is to be a refuse waste worker, or my dream is I've never worked in a call center and met anyone else there who dreamt of that job.
But this is valid, okay? This is very important, because this is something that people have often said to one of my close friends, Stas, and they've said to her, oh, but like, what's your dream job? What's your dream job? And she said, like, are you kidding? If I'm dreaming of my life and what I want it to be, and this is a dream I just get to choose, I ain't working.
Yeah. Again, because we place the entire value of a person is now defined by what they do.
Exactly.
And again, like we saw it in Birmingham, and all like people like so many people like look at bin men. It's like, oh, who'd want to do that job? It has to be done. Look what happened when they went on strike in Birmingham.
That's right. Exactly.
And we need to treat people like this with respect and make sure that they are paid enough to be able to live a good life. It's like, oh, why should people flipping burgers earn a good wage? It's like, well, you want someone to make you the burgers.
Exactly. And their dream might not be a job. Their dream might be having a family. Their dream might be, I don't know, maybe they love design, like reconstructing cars in their garage. Like, do you know what I mean? Like whatever their thing is, that could be their dream. And it's not necessarily a job. They just have a job that supports their dream.
Yeah. My dream job would be to sit at home during the day, writing stories, and then spending my evenings in like a pub telling them.
Oh,
But
I
that's not a real that's not a real job. It has no value. I beg to fucking differ,
no, yeah,
but
I'll open the pub.
one
You're
society.
good. I'll make that
But
happen.
yeah, 'cause what I'm trying to do now is find a job that pays me enough, doesn't completely destroy my mental health and drain me.
Mhm,
Because I've got so many stories I want to write, but
mhm.
then I get home and I'm exhausted and I don't have the will to do anything except rest and like maintain, the delicate balance of my insane collection of illnesses. And it's like, okay, luckily for me, all my disabilities are invisible, so I'm expected to do everything a fully able-bodied person does.
Eesh. That's a
For anyone
lot.
who's listening to this and can't see us, I just rolled my eyes very heavily. You probably heard the creak.
Hey,
But yeah, again, like I spent so much of my life trying to keep up with the rat race when I'm physically incapable of doing so.
mhm,
And that was me defying my fate, which is to be someone with a collection of health conditions that makes that untenable.
yeah,
Because I felt that I would have no value if I didn't try and become a part of that.
mhm,
And I'm only now in my mid 30s coming to the point where I'm like, no, I have value.
yeah,
And I'm tired of trying to belong to a system that punishes me for trying that hard to belong. So I will find a workaround that works for me
yeah.
because I'm going to die one day and I'm not going to, on my last day on earth, regret that I didn't find a 40-hour a week minimum wage job that filled my heart with joy. I'm
Mhm.
going to regret not having written stories or spending time with my friends and family.
That's what you need to do. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, my fate is to have a slightly complicated life that makes being normal almost impossible, having that normal life.
Yeah.
There's air quotes, by the way, to people only listening and not watching, that normal life impossible. So I've got to find a way to make the world work for me. And that the thing that stopped me doing that so long is that's a risk.
Mm, mm.
At least slowly wearing myself down in a minimum wage job, then having to take 2 months out of work and then find another one
Yeah, yeah,
gave
yeah.
me it did give me a bit of financial stability, but that's not a life worth living in my book. I'd much rather go out, do what I can, take risks and fail.
That's
Because
it. That's where the magic is.
trying to deny your fate, and not even fate as in like your destiny at the end of the line. Like
Mm,
fate has already happened. Like the combination of a billion different chances and
mm.
consequences ended up with me being born with these
Yeah,
mental and physical conditions.
for sure.
And now I have to live with that. And that is fate as well. And trying to deny it, trying to act like I don't have a disability
Yeah.
only causes me pain and suffering. And it's ludicrous. It's like I'm literally standing in the face of the gods, I believe it, and saying, no, no, I'm not sick. No, no, what do you mean?
I
What a
think, yeah, I
ludicrous way to spend your
think
life.
there's something important to remember that, there is a point where you need to feel good within yourself. You can't fully
Oh, yeah.
submit to being just, I am just sick. But there is a level of acknowledging and then working
Yeah,
with it
I
instead of,
need to accept that I have these illnesses.
yeah,
Um, and that's what I've not been doing. I've
yeah.
not been giving myself the grace to say, and again, I don't view it as a negative thing. It's like, yeah, I cannot keep up physically.
Hmm.
I still have a very sharp mind, and I am I'll sing my own praises, which is something I rarely do. I'm a very talented comedian and a very talented
Yeah.
writer and storyteller. Um, and I've been made to feel like that's worthless because I can't earn my living doing that. And it's like, no, absolutely
Bull-
not. Stop that. The
That's
fact that
bullshit.
the world is built in such a way
Hmm.
that I have to do stuff that I'm actively bad at because of my disabilities
Hmm. Hmm.
to survive is not my fault.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of taking the blame for it, so I'm not going to anymore. That was my final therapy session epiphany, which is, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not going to kill myself trying to belong to a system that even punishes the people who are good at.
Literally, exactly.
And that's easy to say, difficult to do. I still need to earn money, but I'm going to do everything I can to do things on my terms now, because I've tried to play by the rules. It has nearly killed me on several occasions, and all that has happened is I've been punished for it or discarded. And I'm like, no, fuck this. I tried to play it your way, and you would not let me. So
Yeah.
fuck a lot of years.
And I love that.
And that I think that vaguely ties it to this, because big part of that was me having to accept the hand that fate dealt. You don't get to decide what cards you're dealt. All you get to decide is how you play them and when.
Yeah, for sure.
And sometimes you don't get good options.
No.
But you need to, in any moment where you have to make a choice, even if there's no good option, take a moment to revel in the fact that you still have the power to make a decision. It might not be a good one, but
yeah, having the option to
you are alive. You can do something, and
yeah.
always in those horrible situations, pick the one that is least shit for you.
And we're gonna stop it there. I think that was perfect. I love that.
Name of this episode: least shit for you.
Yeah, do it for you, bitch. I love it.
Or no, the name of this episode could be whisper sweet nothings in my ear. I was the cow. I was
sweet nothings. That's it. The name of this episode's got to be Sweet Nothings. Incredible. Oh, Blair, thank you so much for like sharing all that as well. Like that is absolutely, I think it's going to be a lot really, really real and important and powerful for a lot of people.
I've got no problem talking about my mental health. It's what I really want is for someone to hear it and pay me to study me, because I'm a fucking mess.
Any psychologists listening looking for a dissertation? You've got one here. But
only has to be minimum wage. That's the wage I'm accustomed on living on.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Blair, and thank you everyone for listening. We will absolutely catch you at the next one. Au revoir.